out. I'm the one the boys wanna be taking out. I isolate myself to spread the outside from within myself. I know I'm not crazy because I ain't miss you wanna help, but I'm so used to.
Guys, it's your girl KT and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to do a confessions of a publicist, and I'm going to talk about my journey of getting to where I am now, which is something I never in a million years would have thought I would reach before I got to the age of 35. So I'm just grateful and thankful for the opportunities that have been placed my way, and also first giving God all the glory to get me here, because without him I wouldn't be here. And to tell you about this crazy journey of a story of what happened and what jobs I took, and it's just amazing just to think about it. But if you're new here, hi, my name is KT and I'm your favorite publicist that comes live to you on this channel to talk about corporate life, PR advice, and a sprinkle of lifestyle from here to there. So I started this mini series, which is called Confessions of a Publicist, to tell you more about public relations, my journey, and also to help inspiring PR professionals or potential PR professionals to find their niche and nook within this crazy industry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight on into the video. So as you guys know, technically, well, we're not gonna get into the technicalities, because for and foremost, I'll always be a publicist at the heart of it all, because that's where I got my start from. So I'm always going to be a publicist. But within public relations, there are so many different jobs that you can have. You could be a strategic communicator, you could be an assistant, specialist, public affairs, internal communications. All of it is wrapped up in the main PR and communications realm. So just to give you a little backstory of how I got into PR, I do have a video that is a little bit older of how I got into PR. I'm gonna link it in the cards above, but just to give you a backstory, I got my bachelor's of communication studies with the emphasis in PR in 2016, and I ended up getting my master's in media communications in 2019 from Webster University, and I went to University of Alabama at Birmingham for my undergrad degree. So I do have actual degrees in public relations and communications, so that's that. So just to start on my journey, I'll tell anybody I am one of the people who did not get a PR job right out of college. It's nothing to be ashamed of. During my time, I really thought I had a stigma on me, because although I did these great internships and things of that nature, I did not get a job right after college in PR. So just to give you a backstory, in 2015 is when I actually changed my major. So I started off as a biology major and was like, oh, this ain't for me, and I found my love for public relations. I say that all that in my actual how I got into PR. So really check that video out, because I really gave you guys like the reasons why I changed my major and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you watch that. But I ended up doing an internship. I did a couple of internships. So my very first internship that I did that was in PR or communications was actually a development internship. That is when I realized I'm not a very good salesperson. So I actually did a Girl Scouts of America in northern Birmingham, or northern Alabama was where I did my very first internship. I learned a lot with development and things of that nature, and fundraising and all that kind of stuff, but I really figured out that that's technically not what I wanted to do. I love being able to chat with donors and things of that nature, and I'll never take it completely off the plate that maybe in the future I might get better at it and decide to do it. But in undergrad, I was like, yeah, this is not what I want to do. So I actually did a media relations internship with UAB in their what is now called the Office of Public Relations or Marketing and Communications. I keep forgetting, they just changed the name. But that is where I found the love of actually pitching. So really understanding that, I had a great boss. So thank you to Jim Backin and Catherine and all the rest of the people who were there. You guys really made my experience worthy, because I can say in most internships, yes, you did the work, but to get full credit for it is something that I hadn't experienced, or other people that I know that's in the industry. Anytime I wrote a press release, they will say written by my name. So like, if you would go, if you know my real name, you could go search on uab.edu/news, and you will see all my older stories. And it is crazy to know that I had published work as early as my junior year. Well, that was my senior year of college. So I also wanted to get into entertainment, because I just knew, because I love entertainment, I love music, I love fashion, I love all that kind of stuff, that I wanted to get more into that for public relations. Well, I didn't on earth think I was going to do that, and I lived in Birmingham, but I had hopes. So I ended up getting a remote internship with a company called U Management, that is headed by Milan Mobley. Y'all, my brain went crazy for a second. And the lovely Milan Mobley, and I thank her for all of what she did, of me being able to pitch, being able to get into the nitty-gritty. Because don't get me wrong, UAB internship really gave me the basics, but hard PR publicist work I learned there, like making my own media list, reaching out to people, all that kind of stuff I did there. And also after that, I did a internship with the PR Alliance, and their similar things I learned. And by that time, I actually graduated from undergrad and did not have a job in sight. So for me, I had bills to pay. Although I was still living at the house, like I still had, I was working full time while I was in college, so I still continued to work. So I actually ended up getting a new job at a hotel. Far cry from PR, but in my mind I was like, hey, if I start off at the front desk, maybe I can become an event specialist, and then work my way up through the company. Your girl, when I have plans in my head, but sometimes those plans don't align with what God has for me, and I've learned that very quickly throughout my whole career. So being at the hotel, I actually transferred hotels because the hotel that I worked with was not going to be under corporate anymore, and I really wanted to stay with corporate. During that time at the hotel, I won't say I didn't like it, because I love being able to do it, but first of all, I was used to working 7 to 3, so getting off work at 3, being able to do whatever I wanted to. Quickly, that changed when I transferred hotels, because I was low on the totem pole, so I always ended up working a 3D 11 shift. They even trained me to be an auditor for the midnight shift, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I did midnight for 3 years in undergrad. I was not going back to doing a midnight shift. I just could not do it. So I started looking for a full-time job. Still could not land a PR job to save my life. So I ended up in trucking. Y'all, all this is going to make sense when we get to where we're going, I guess. I'm just telling y'all, I had a crazy story of how I got to where I'm at right now. So started off in trucking. I was a recruiting coordinator, and that's when I decided that I want to go back to school to get my master's degree. Maybe that can help, with everything, and making sure that I had the experience and just being able to get into PR quicker. Alongside that, I was still doing my internships, because I had to have my internship for my master's degree. So as I'm working the internship, I'm going to school. So when I tell you, there was no playtime. Like, don't get me wrong, I still had time. I was in a relationship. We ain't gonna talk about that. But I was determined to get a full-time job in PR. So that is one of my number one advice. If PR and communications is something you really want to do, stick it out, because it's going to look different from everybody else. And sometimes, like, people in my class ended up getting these great, you know, jobs right out of college because they decided to move, and I felt like I was behind because I had not reached what I wanted just yet. So went to talk to the VP of Human Resources at the company that I was with, and I was really like, hey, we need to do a better job of communication, because if you don't know me, I'm gonna pitch for a job. If it ain't no job there, I'm bodacious and bold at times that I'm going to pitch for what I want. So they started giving me duties like posting on our Facebook page, because Human Resources was doing it. So they made a recruiting page just for me to post to. Also, I was doing a lot of internal communications. A lot of people didn't like that. I would love to get into this story, but I said I would never tell this story again in life. So then I really still didn't have a job, so I ended up starting my own company, which was KGT Communications, and that was born out of me saying, okay, I'm going to take the reins in this and say I want to be in PR. If it's not going to be the traditional route, I'm going to make my own company, because I had a mentor. Shout out to my girl Lindsay. If you're watching this, hey girl. Lindsay actually was one of the people who encouraged me to actually start my own PR firm, because she told me when she graduated from college there was nobody taking a chance on her, so she took a chance on herself. So I was like, maybe that's gonna be my story, you know, God setting this up for this awesome comeback. And everything popped off at the recruiting at the trucking company. I was like, okay, it's time to go. So I ended up transferring to safety of all things. I did the safety assistant position. Did not like it. More stuff started popping out, because you got to realize trucking is mostly male dominated and not a lot of women of color that works there. So you can get the gist of where I'm coming with this when I tell you this. So it was time to go. During this time, I was still applying for stuff, and I ran across a PR marketing assistant job at Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. So I was like, we're gonna take a chance. So I submitted my application, did not know nobody. I stayed up all night trying to redo my resume and redid it, and got an interview, which I met my lovely mentor and former boss and great friend, Candace O'Neal. And I don't know, for me from the jump, it was like a great interview. Like, normally I'm always nervous, but just talking with her, and then also Catherine Smith. Hey girl, if you watching this, I know y'all, I'm like shouting out everybody, but these are women that really helped me throughout my career and gave me some great advice. So I just want to make sure that I'm shouting them out, because if it wasn't for them and for God, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I'm trying not to tear up, because it's just amazing. So this was literally 2019. I got the call back, and they was like, hey, we would really like for you to be a part of the team. Of course I took it, because I was like, we got to leave. So I started at December 9th, 2019. And what if you know it, COVID happened in 2020. So work looked very much different than what a typical airport public relations and marketing assistant would do. But I had the most amazing time. Candace really let me and allowed me to, you know, come up with ideas. She let me take lead on events. I came up with the very first blog episodes about why you should fly to Birmingham, all that kind of stuff. I ended up getting, you know, just so many great opportunities from there. And when she left, I was just like, okay, maybe it's my time to slide into a manager role. Even though you know, typically you would think you go from assistant to specialist to manager, but we was a 3-man team, and we had a specialist, and he wasn't leaving no time soon. So I was like, okay, I'm putting my hand in for the manager position, and unfortunately I kind of got to run around with that, and at the same time I was still applying for jobs, because at the 2-year mark for me, it was like, okay, although I've been doing great, although I have a great support system, and although I love my job, like, I don't want to just be an assistant, and there was no way to create a new position. So I was applying for other things like specialists, and, you know, trying to see various industries, because although I love the airport, I just wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, for my career growth, that I was going to be on the same page. So my boss ends up leaving. I took over a lot of her work, so I'm doing my work and her work. So I'm just like, we are shoo-in for this manager position. Literally, I get a call back from the city of Birmingham. So what a lot of people don't know, sometimes it's very ambiguous about what department you'll be working in. It'll just say city of Birmingham is looking for such and such. So for me specifically, it was like city of Birmingham looking for a PR manager, and like I met the requirements and things of that nature. But what they don't tell you is they have, I mean, I would assume you would know, but I'll break it down. So literally your city governments have very different departments, like public works, police, fire, community engagement, all those kind of different departments, and it depends on how big the city is, how many more departments fall under city government. So what they do is whatever opening they have for a PR manager in any department at the time that you apply to, they send out your resume. So I literally got a call back from 2 departments. So literally it was Parks and Rec, which is over the community centers, and Birmingham Police. I won't lie to you, I did not know what Birmingham Police Department was calling me back for. They was like, hey, I thought I got a ticket. Literally. So this is how crazy everything sets up. So I went on an interview on the Monday with Parks and Rec, and they said they'll let me know Friday. The minute I left the Parks and Rec interview, I got a call back from Birmingham Police Department to set up an interview on Friday. So when I tell you, it had been a while since I applied, but when I say things get to rolling real fast. So by the time I got to the Birmingham Police Department, I was supposed to know about Parks and Rec. Although I didn't hear back from Parks and Rec, that Friday I went on my interview with the chief. Did not know I was meeting with the chief. I thought it was just really HR, but literally it was the chief of police. And I went to the interview at like 10 o'clock, and after 10 o'clock I went back to the airport to work. By 2 o'clock I got an offer from Birmingham Police Department to be their PR manager. And it's so crazy because now I think about it, like, I'm literally the first black female public relations manager for the Birmingham Police Department. So we making history, girl. Yeah, we making history. So after that, I accepted the position because at the time I did go back and try to counter offer, because although I got this nice little upgrade of a job, we got some money over here, I was like, I still don't want to leave the airport. Like, y'all just don't know, like, the airport was just the end all be all. If I had to compare jobs to anything, and I would say if it don't feel like it felt like at the airport, I don't want it. That's the type of how much everybody in just that job made an impact on my life. So things didn't go well because they didn't want to match. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go over here to the police department. So I started at the police department October 25th, 2021. So typically I stay at a job for 2 years, and it's either something happened on the job that's gonna make me move, which I think is God telling me, hey, it's time for you to move on, or I end up finding another opportunity. So literally was at the two-bar at Birmingham, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go to my chief and we're gonna talk about what next steps look like. He told me he didn't know what they're gonna look like, and he don't know what that was gonna be. So I was like, hey, it's time to move. So literally I was looking for other PR manager positions because I knew I had only been a manager for 2 years. Most companies were telling me because I wasn't truly over somebody that's in communications that I probably needed some more experience under my belt, which is understandable because in my situation I went from aviation, transportation, hospitality and travel to now being in government, and I was only over police officers. So it's basically like I was telling them what to do. Get it, got it, good. So this brings me to where I'm at now, which is director of public affairs for one of the largest Tennessee police departments. Apparently government PR has a big control over me, and I have not been able to get out since. But it's okay because every day is a different day, and I love being able to be in government because it's exciting. If you have not been in government, I promise you will never have a dull day. Never. So, funny story, I applied for this position in 2022 when it first came open, and I did the interview but didn't get selected, which was okay. I'm fine with that. Things happen, and I really wasn't in a position where I wanted to move yet. Go figure. 2023 came along and it opened back up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna apply for it again. We'll see if it's time for me to move, because I could not get a job interview in Birmingham to save my life. I don't care what it was, a public relations specialist, a manager. I even did specialist job as a manager and could not get a call back for nothing. I was getting called back for director, PR managers, everything out of state, which is crazy. But sometimes, this goes to my tip number 2, sometimes you got to jump out on faith and do some things that you think you wouldn't be qualified for. Because some of these director positions was like, hey, you need over 10 years of experience. I don't care. We're gonna put in for it anyway. And I think that was God's way of telling me that you need to start thinking bigger, because like I was literally applying for specialist positions and I'm a manager just because I wanted to get out of the situation I was in, because it had gotten bad, y'all. We're not gonna talk about it, but it got bad. So from that point, they offered me the job in November. I declined it because the math wasn't math. Yeah. But they got the math and I accepted the position. So as of now, I can say that public relations is a vast majority. Like I said, I was a PR manager, I was a PR manager assistant, media relations, communications, internal comms, and in between that I had, you know, a lot of other positions. I was a specialist for a grassroots organization called 1,000 Women Strong. I did a lot of consulting on the side outside of my business, and was, you know, in people's PR firms helping them out. So literally I have done so much within public relations and communications, and I won't say there's a limit to what you can do. Like now, a lot of people realize that marketing, PR, and communications is like this big triangle circular thing, and they all match in the middle. So like I've done a lot of social media work, I've done a lot of marketing work, because sometimes PR and marketing goes hand in hand. So what you created on the PR side can easily flow into the marketing side. at the airport I did PR marketing, so a lot of times I'm putting on a marketing hat even though I was literally trained as a publicist, public relations. But there are so many various things that you can do. Like I said, media relations, you can do public relations, public affairs, which is most outward facing because you wanted to deal with public information. There are so many things, internal comm, external comm. So public relations is a great field that if you're willing to write, research, and talk on camera, because sometimes it depends on the position, you might be a spokesperson. And last year, well, when I got in the PR manager at Birmingham, I found that out very soon, that you got to stay ready before you get ready, stay ready, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean. But I was really a spokesperson, going on interviews and things like that. Now I'm really more into over picture, being over the department, campaigns, building those out. So I'm really big picture wise. Probably will still be a spokesperson and going on camera, hopefully not as much. Don't get me wrong, like it takes a very special person to be a spokesperson, and I'm glad I have that opportunity under my belt. But if I don't have to do as many interviews, that's fine. But last tip I have for you guys is believe in yourself, believe in your journey, and believe in your skills. Right now I am mentoring someone along their PR journey, and I love being able to mentor people. So if you're looking to get into PR, if you're aspiring, you can always send me an email at ktthepublicist@gmail.com, and trust me, I will open it, I will read it, I will respond. I'm not that type of person that I feel like, oh, I'm Sadidi. No, I want to be able to help people who help others, because I didn't have that until I got my first job, literally. So I say all that to say is believe in yourself and believe in your skills. Especially right now, the job market is very volatile because a lot of places are doing layoffs, and to be honest, communications is always the very first people to go. But know that God has you. God has a special plan for you in place. He's not going to put you somewhere or let you go through something that's not going to build you for the better. And just know that this is something that's on the way. I had to remind myself of that so many times, especially when you're in the midst of, things going wrong in a job, or you're in the midst of feeling like you don't matter, or feeling like, hey, I still haven't gotten a job yet. Like, why haven't I gotten to this point? And literally, I would have never imagined I would be a director at the age of 30. Sometimes it's very unheard of. Although it's unheard of, like, I know this is what God has set me up to be. I don't know what the rest of my journey looks like, but I know it's only up for here, and it's only uphill for you as well. So don't pout, don't sit, don't be upset about the situations you're in now, because it's only going to set you up for the greatest comeback that you'll ever see. And that's the end of the video. I don't want to talk much, but as always, if you guys have any questions about how to get into PR, you can always email me, comment down below, anything of that nature, and I look forward to it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss a beat when I drop a new video. And let your working business besties know that I'm now their favorite publicist, and they need to be part of the Bestie Squad. So, as always, thank you guys for staying tuned. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.